Alya, paint me. So first, you can see in the title, pain is kind of highlighted with a parenthetical comment. Paint me. Okay, here we go. I don't have any sound. Do you have sound? There we go.
Hello? Hello, I'm still alive. Heads up and lock eyes on the prize. Come on. Oh, I have been in the dark. Still feel the pain, but now I got a different look at life. Another side of love. I'm trying something new in the upper turn. But now if given a chance, will you accept the challenge? Ready your brush and paint me. Open up your mind, yeah, baby. All the wrong, the right. Be free. Step into the light with all the good and evil. I paint me from black and white to colorless. Technicolor, the aching cloud of process. What I've been through in the dark. It's hard, but it grew my sparks. Can I embrace joy and hurt? Be brave in every turn. It's come after the storm. I hope you know. If you can do this test, then you accept the challenge. Ready your brush and paint me. Open up your mind, yeah, baby. All the wrong, the right. Be free. Step into the light with all the good and evil. I paint me. See the light. I 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 see the light.
Oh, is it over? Okay. Alya. All right, that was Alya with Paint Me. So I noticed this little comment down here, and it's going to be way too small for you, okay? So I'm just going to read it out loud, and then I want to kind of go back through the video a little bit, because like I said, I wanted to give you a fresh view of it and me a fresh view, so you could kind of see, you could make your own opinion there, and then now I can go through as the director and kind of give you my 2 cents. But there is a note down here in the description that says this. Have you ever experienced a turning point in your life that changes you for the better? Do you recognize that sudden spark of hope that your life will somehow improve, even though you don't know yet how that will happen? This song is created to represent the beginning of that moment. I like that. After reflecting over tumultuous times in her life, Alya decided to write down all the obstacles that she passed and even paint them. She learned to practice more acceptance, to understand the roots of her negative self-doubts that shackled her motivations in the past as she continued her creative journey. With this chance, Alya explored a more intense approach of performance arts too, in efforts to apply all her hobbies in one video for the first time: dancing, painting, writing, and singing. This EP is a body of work that's inspired by Alya's personal journey on seeking professional help for her mental health, and also a creative pursuit to represent the stages of grief theory. Each track translates different complex emotions, such as anger towards own self, frustration, loneliness, the back and forth process of acceptance, and so on. In track 4 of the EP titled Paint Me, the upward turn stage from Stages of Grief Theory is interpreted with Alya's own twist. Wow. And then finally it says, Paint Me is animated with scribble style to represent Alya's background as a visual artist and also reference her past published artworks. The scribbles are a collaboration between Alya's own illustrations as well as Nuralitsa's the animator. Interesting. Okay, so now here's my first thought as a director, right? First of all, I love that whole breakdown and the fact that all of that information is available, okay? So now what that does for me as a director, if I'm sitting with the team, right, is I say, okay, if this description is kind of what you were going for to lay out within this visual and audible journey, did you represent that in a way that I feel like was successful, that you executed it well? So, and here's the catch though. Some of this is Easter eggs, right? For instance, the animations and stuff that they talked about, that being kind of a collaboration between Alya's illustrations and then the animator's illustrations, that's just an Easter egg. They don't really have to portray that. That's just a nice little tidbit. And if anything, that's a little tidbit for the team that's involved. That's just a nice touch. So good on them. And the fact that, of course, that, you know, it's very timely, like mental health and struggles. This is a very relatable concept. So that in and of itself gives, I think, the concept a lot more power than other music that we've listened to that can seem and feel very shallow and very, you know, two-dimensional. I think there's some depth here. Let's see. I will tell you, this first 6 seconds threw me off because we've got a clock and then we've got stuff happening and there's zero sound, nothing. Just kind of threw me off at first. I like that setting of the scene with the paints and stuff. I think that's a nice touch.
Hello, I'm still alive.
I will say first and foremost, I love her voice. I think she has a fantastic voice. I think that where she's at now, I think is solid. And I think that as she progresses forward, she's going to get much, much stronger and be a pretty heavy hitter. That's what I think.
Heads up and lock eyes on the prize. Come on. Oh, I have been in the dark. Still feel the pain, but
here's my first director's note, and it's technical. When you do choreo, okay, first of all, as far as the set goes, we are on what's called an infinity wall. This white wall you see, you've seen this before. It's got a white floor. It's got a curved wall that goes all the way around, and depending on how far you go, it can look like infinity. It's just white everywhere. But because of the space that we have in the camera and probably the size of the lens we used, we can see the ceiling. This isn't a problem. They've accepted to do this. You know they're in a studio. That's fine, okay? But if you're willing to go that far to show that you're in a studio, why not capitalize on that even more? We have different scenes play out through the video to highlight things. Like we have the choreo that takes place here. Notice the outfits, notice the lighting and where they are. We have these inserts later, like her with the paintbrush, wherever it went. I just had it. So this is like B-roll stuff. This is like inserts that just highlight a point. Okay, so we have different sets. But then we go forward and we have a costume change here and a lighting change. Maybe. Okay, so here's technically another scene, even though it's on the same set. We've changed the lighting, we've changed the outfits, we've even pushed them back towards the wall. So this presents another scene in a way. And then later we have another scene where we go dark, and then we use the lights as kind of a main character or a character.
I see the light. I see the light.
And this is just another way to set a different scene. Now, we talk about pacing a lot here. These are really clever ways to keep the budget down and allow a video to be paced in a very decent way. That's nice. We got multiple scenes, even though it's in the same location. We've got B-roll shots and inserts like the paintbrush and some of that stuff we saw earlier. Even the black and white, that's just like a little bookmark. It's a little highlight. So far, so good. But going back to this first step is, if you're willing to acknowledge and demonstrate that we're in a studio and you can see the ceiling or whatever else, why not capitalize on that? And then instead of making everything happen in this one spot and then changing those other variables, maybe consider literally kind of breaking a fourth wall and then moving into the rest of the studio. You could walk through the entire studio and break that fourth wall. Now, keep in mind when I say this, I do not expect these folks to change the video they have already done. This is all just ideas that maybe in the future might apply to a future project. There's just other ways to think about. There are no bad ideas in brainstorming, okay? So now, when I say break the fourth wall, Cindy, I don't know if you're kidding or not, but I probably should explain. Breaking the fourth wall is like you have two-dimensional flat, you have three-dimensional space, and then fourth dimension is basically where, like, okay, in a movie, when you're watching a movie and you have two characters talking to each other in that scene, and then one of the characters, literally, they go, and you know what, that's fine, I get it. They look at the camera, they acknowledge the camera in that scene and talk to you and go, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. But I disagree. And then they start the conversation again. That's called breaking the fourth wall. Yeah, Deadpool is a great example, right? Fleabag is that's a great show. But back to the point, right? Breaking the fourth wall is a way to kind of take the viewer out of that space of this is a music video, this is a set, and then kind of explore things that we wouldn't necessarily be expecting to explore. Okay, yeah, they kind of bring the audience into the video. Very well said. So one idea is, don't be afraid to explore more and bring us even deeper into that idea of you're in a studio. Okay, that's just one idea. But here is a technical tip. When you film choreo, you can make that choreo seem super sharp, snap and pop, by changing one setting on the camera. And that's the frames per second. Okay, if you're filming choreo, that camera should be set at the very least to 60 frames per second. All of these dancers' movements will seem a lot more crisp. They'll have a lot of pop and snap, and they don't have to do anything. They just have to dance. But the camera effect kind of removes the motion blur, and it just adds a lot more sharpness to their movements, okay? Let me go back just a little bit. First scene here.
Trying something new in the upper turn, but now if given a chance, will you accept the challenge?
Now, this drop of the chorus, I really love this. And I feel like this would have been the perfect place for one of your scene changes. Because the vibe of the song kind of changes, and it changes in a really great way. You do a good job of... I'm literally talking right to her, right? They do a good job of using the space that they have, moving the camera angle so that now we're getting a different angle of the dancers. She moves back through the dancers, around the dancers, and then boom, she's up here with us. And we just saw that whole piece here.
Will you accept the challenge?
And that right there is a break. We get a visual break from this last scene here, visual break. And now when we go into the chorus, essentially, that's where I feel if you want that moment to hit twice as hard, you have to do it in two ways. One, the music does it for you because the music changes. The chorus exists how it exists. But if you also change the visual in a way that's new for the viewer, it makes that moment pop twice as much.
The challenge. Ready, your brush and paint me. Open up your mind.
Now, this chorus would have hit harder for me if we had jumped right into like this part here. You know what would have been clever, I think? Just an idea. Just an idea. I know it's kind of late to do this, but think about it this way. With the story that we know the song is about, right? What if the beginning of the video had been in black and white? And then when the chorus comes up of Paint Me, that's when we get the first flavor of color. And when she talks about being free here in the lyrics, this is another way, like, it could absolutely, like, she could kind of grab the camera and move through the studio, because in the first 57 seconds, kind of like her message of the lyrics is she's locked, right? She's always been kind of locked in this place, and she's now free of it. So you could break free from this scene and just travel through the studio, which isn't usually done. So it shows a freedom in that visual.
Free, step into the light with all the good and evil.
See, this is clever. See the light. We get lyrically and we get it visually.
I see the light. 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 I see the light.
Nice. was trying to think if I feel like there would be a more powerful pop at the end that would make me go, ooh. Because I love this last change.
I see the light. I see the light. I see the light. I see the light.
I wonder if something as simple as just raising the house lights as they're moving the flashlights towards the camera just makes all the lights come up and she sees the light. I don't know, just an idea. Yeah, but a bright light. So I gotta say, I mean, there's a lot of this that I really like. I mean, yeah, I have a couple tips. I think real simple stuff. Upping the frame rate on the camera would help the choreo. Just make it pop a little bit more. I'd say don't be afraid to use more space. Like the space that you have works. And I don't know what the rest of the studio looks like, but there's a lot you can do in a small space. And even if it's not exploring the rest of the studio, it could literally be how you interact with the camera. The camera moves in this a bit when the choreo is happening, but I feel like if you treat the camera like a character in the video, you can extrapolate the power of the experience for the viewer by engaging with the camera more. Like, for example, if Alya was in the center of the shot like she is, the dancers are on the side doing something, and she reaches out, and she's still 10 feet away from the camera, but her hand goes like this and then moves this way, and the camera goes as if she's controlling the camera. That's a very simple effect that can make the viewer feel something, right? It shows a level of control, and that could work lyrically for the theme that she's trying to present. So there's a lot of really easy ways that it doesn't require a lot of money. It's just a matter of making an interesting experience for who's watching it. And overall, like I said, I think her voice is fantastic. I think that as she progresses, she's going to get stronger and stronger, and I think she's going to be a heavy hitter. And I think she might actually be the first Indonesian artist that we've seen on the channel. Yeah. Really solid.